Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of The Bark. I'm Colin Perry.
And I'm Jackson Borman. This week we'll be taking a look at Butler basketball and their trip to the NCAA tournament, where at first they took care of Arkansas, winning in the first round, and then lost to Purdue by just 3.
Yeah, it was a tough loss for the Bulldogs. Kamar Baldwin coming up short on that three-point attempt at the horn, almost reminiscent of the 2010 National Championship game with Gordon Hayward, and also brought the end of two great careers with Kelan Martin and Tyler Wideman.
Let's take a look at those highlights.
First round game, Butler and Arkansas. Here's Kamar Baldwin. Misses the runner, but Wideman puts it back. 7-2 start for the Bulldogs. Opening 2 minutes. Here's Baldwin again. It's 16-2 already. He's going to cross over and finish one-hand jam. What a nice look for Baldwin. We're going to take another look at that one, the crossover and the finish. The fans loving it in the background as this one gets forced through, and the bench as well. Arkansas would answer. Here's Daryl Macon. He's going to try to make things happen, go to the cup, makes the runner and one to finally get Arkansas going offensively. And then a couple minutes later, Darius Hall slams the putback. Razorbacks down 12 there. Here's Macon again, making things happen. 1-point game. There it is. And just like that, Arkansas erases a 19-point deficit out of the gates. Bulldogs try to go to Martin on the alley-oop and misses. And the turnover results in a Jalen Barford 3, giving Arkansas the lead here with 3 minutes left in the first half. Bulldogs, so would take the lead and lead at the half as Kelan Martin contributed there with the nice drive and finish at the rim. It was 36-31 at the half. Here comes Arkansas, though, down 7. Daniel Gafford, gets the nice look and the foul on Tyler Wideman. It was a 5-point game. Bulldogs up 10, then dribbling, driving. Nice look from Macon to Adrio Bailey to finish. And it stays a 10-point game there. Here come the Bulldogs, though. Kelan Martin, shot clock running out. What's the senior going to do? He's got to fire it up and hits. Hits a huge 3 there. And that's not it from Martin. Here's Fowler in a double team, but he's going to find Martin at the rim and flush. Another dunk there from Martin. 13-point game. And we're going to take a second look at that finish from the senior forward who gives the Dogs a 13-point lead. Here is Trey Thompson. The hook shot goes for him. Just like that, it's a 6-point game with 10 minutes left, but the Bulldogs would pile on. Here's Baldwin. Looks like he's going to drive, dribbles it back out, then a little bit of magic to the rim, and finishes and gets fouled as Baldwin finishes the game with 24 points, and that one was probably one of his sweetest shots of the game. And 7 minutes left to go here. Tyler Wideman's going to get the positioning. Almost lost it, gets it back, and flushes it home. 10-point lead at that point. The Bulldogs would go on to run away with it, a 17-point victory, 79-62. Bulldogs get Purdue next. And they're out to a 13-8 lead early. Here comes Purdue, though. Carson Edwards from deep left wing gets it to go. 3-pointer for him. And here comes Purdue again. This time it's going to be Ohio's Dakota Mathias for 3. And it's a 6-point game. Butler leads, 7 minutes left first half. Here's Vincent Edwards. He's going to do a little fade. Gets it to go as well. 4-point game at that point. Here comes Butler, though. Kelan, paint, looks. Nice bounce pass to Badley to finish. Keeping Butler with a slim margin, closing down the first half. But here's a wild possession here. Number of offensive boards for Purdue. Couple misses from Carson Edwards, but here's Grady Eifert to finish and one. And to pull that Purdue lead out. And here again is Carson Edwards doing it from behind the arc. Another 3 goes. Gives Purdue a 6-point lead at that point. Butler would make it a 40-36 game at the half in favor of Purdue. Second half underway. Here is a steal. Who says big men don't have handles? There's Tyler Wideman with the flush. Gave Butler a 1-point lead, but here comes Ryan Klein to answer at the hoop for Purdue. 7-point lead at that point. Paul Jorgensen, he would have 8 points off of the bench, and here he goes. Dribbles right hand, gets a nice runner through the defense to go 5-point game. And then here is Jaquil Taylor for Purdue, getting a lot more minutes now that Isaac Haas was out. He hits a little floater. There is the Bulldogs other way. Martin double-teamed, fades away, gets it to go. Tough shot, but a nice finish for Martin. That's not all we've got. Here is Baldwin driving, stop to Weidman, finish and one. And just like that, Butler hanging in. Martin, again, he'll go to the paint, through a double team and finish. Keelan Martin with another great drive there. Bulldogs down 10 though, 6 minutes left. Another floater from Martin. He's got the bank to go. And it's an 8-point game at that point. Big play here though. Bulldogs down 2. Baldwin goes to the layup, but it's blocked by Vincent Edwards. Huge block by Edwards, keeping Purdue up 2. Here's the slow-mo replay as Edwards with the hustle. Here comes Purdue now, trying to put it away. Nice look, Dakota Mathias for the 3. He gets it. 5-point game with 14 left. Not a lot of time left. Martin tries to answer, doesn't get it to go, but follows his shot, gets the rebound, lays it in with just 2.1. It looks to be over, but Purdue misses their free throw. Here comes the heave for Kamar Baldwin for the tie. No, it doesn't go. And just like that, Purdue advances to the Sweet 16, and that puts it in to the Butler Bulldogs season.
Joining us now are college basketball analysts Zach Horrell and Olivia Frajap. Zach, what are your thoughts on the first 16 seed ever beating a 1 seed?
So I think it was a really huge game. Obviously, UMBC got a lot of notoriety for it. They had a lot of fun on social media, and it kind of, took the nation by storm in that, this number 16 seed upset the number 1 seed. But I think the real kind of story behind it that I feel like doesn't get a lot of talk is Tony Bennett, Virginia's coach. I think that this loss really showed how great of a coach he is. I mean, sure, his team lost 74-54, but he lost with such class, and he was just such, a great, loser, really, to put it bluntly. But he was so, cordial in the post-game press conference and talked up UMBC so well and just admitted that his team didn't play as well as they should have. And I think that, to me, he stands out the most from this game. And I think that this shows that Tony Bennett can really go to the next level. He could go into the NBA one day if he really wanted. He's that great of a coach, I think. I mean, he obviously coaches, a team that could have won the national championship, but, he showed that on the personal side, he has what it takes to really go to that next level. And I think that he is really the big story from this game.
And you got to give UMBC some credit, too. I mean, they might be discounted as a 16 seed, but they won over 20 games in their conference, and they won their conference championship. So, in the big dance, everybody loves an upset and loves an underdog. So you got to give them the credit where credit's due.
I mean, they definitely had the right to be there. It wasn't like they didn't deserve to be there. Like you said, they won their conference. They had over 20 wins. They certainly deserved to be there playing Virginia. And like Tony Bennett said, they played good basketball. They played a solid 40 minutes, and Virginia didn't. And it's not UMBC's fault that Virginia didn't play. UMBC played well, and they deserved to win.
Deservedly so. Olivia, speaking of upsets in the Southern region, what do you think about Loyola's play?
I mean, just 2 words, Sister Jean. She's that good luck charm. In the first round, they beat number 6 seed Miami by 2, and then they beat number 3 Tennessee by 1, and she's just been there. And I think my favorite part is that she does the scout. Like, this 98-year-old nun is doing the scout and living life, loving basketball, and she's that good luck charm. So I think it's pretty cool that they're upsetting teams and they have a chance to go even deeper now.
Oh, for sure. She's definitely an international superstar now. She corrected some reporters calling her a national superstar. Also, you talk about the curse of the city of Cincinnati. You had Xavier go down late last night to Florida State, and Cincinnati blew a 22-point lead to Nevada. Zach, I guess, what are your thoughts on, 2 really big teams right there going down so early?
I mean, I think that that's just the nature of this tournament, really. I mean, we always talk about it, that anything can happen when March comes, and that's true. But I think that this just showed that, you could be good all season, but it really comes down to this one game and this one night. And if you don't perform, then you're out. And I think that that's the case with both Xavier and Cincinnati. They didn't perform, and they don't move on.
I'd say that's the case with Syracuse, too, in their bracket. They were one of the last teams in the tournament, had to play the buy-in game against ASU. Took care of business there, only allowing 56 points, and since then they've allowed 52 in their win against TCU and 53 in their game against Michigan State. They're showing up to play. They came and play.
Definitely a lot of upsets from the first 2 rounds. We're going to send it over now to Bark reporters Savannah Betcher and Jacob Mummert for the rest of the bracket.
All right, thanks guys. Jacob and I are here in front of the whiteboard. We drew out a bracket for you, kind of getting started. Start with Villanova, West Virginia. Clearly not an upset. Villanova's made it all this way. I think they're going to go ahead and take another victory. Jacob?
Yeah, that's probably a good choice there. West Virginia was hot against Marshall, but again, Marshall came in underseeded. I think Nova's got the great match in that one.
For sure. How about that Kansas State-Kentucky game?
You know, I was really impressed with Kansas State. And just their matchup with UMBC, it was an underseeded matchup. So it was kind of hard to see actually how good they are compared against a a higher seeded team. They didn't score a lot of points, so I don't know. I got to go with Kentucky in this one.
Okay.
Just with their dominance, I think it's going to be hard to beat them.
So kind of jumping over back to mine a little bit, Texas Tech, Purdue, of course, Purdue beat the Butler Bulldogs, so I just have to go with them. Of course, Haas out with that elbow injury. Who knows, he might be cleared to play. You never know with that guy, so I'm going to go ahead and pick Purdue for this one.
Although Haas was out, Harms stepped in, did a really nice job, played a lot of more minutes than he normally used to, but looked good the whole way through.
Yes, I agree.
All right, now over here with Loyola and Nevada. Really like these two teams. Again, underseeded teams. This whole side of the bracket, underseed madness over here.
Just look at those numbers already.
I know, it's insane. No number 1 seed can come out of this, and that's amazing. I really got to go with Loyola. I really like their chances. Ride this hot streak and see how far they can go.
Now, of course, back to the bracket with a little more higher numbers. So Kansas, Clemson. Clemson's been playing hot, completely just blew Auburn out of the water. I think they had a 40-point lead at one point, just absolutely crazy. Kansas, I believe, is also higher seeded. I like to see Clemson take this victory, upset that 1 seed, knock only 1 seed left in the tournament.
Yeah, I really like Clemson's chances in that one. They were just raining threes on Auburn towards the end. If they can keep up that intensity and come in with that, there's no shot.
I agree.
All right, Florida State, Gonzaga. You know, I really like Florida State in this one. If you knock off Xavier, which I was really happy about.
Butler fans love that. Yeah.
Exactly. I am picking you no matter what if you can beat Xavier.
So, final game of this side of the bracket, Syracuse, Duke. Syracuse has been hot, of course, going into that first 4, winning 2 more games to get to this point right here. But I just have to pick Duke. You just have to go with the Duke in this matchup.
All right, now back on this side, we got Texas A&M and Michigan. Really like Michigan's play, especially that buzzer beater at the end. I think if they can kind of tighten some things up defensively and come back into the Texas A&M game really ready to go and get off shooting, I think they got a good chance.
Yes, so we got a couple SEC teams, got 1 Big East team left, and of course Purdue, Michigan, representing that Big Ten Conference. So kind of stepping forward, moving to the Elite Eight. I have over here Nova, Purdue. I have to go with Villanova. They deserve the number 1 seed. They are just an excellent team, so I have to throw them to the Final Four.
I really think that's going to be a game to watch. That's going to really tell the tale of who has the best shot at winning this.
Yes, I agree.
Now on this side with Kentucky and Loyola, I got to go with the upset. I got to go with Loyola.
Again, one more time.
All the hype. I mean, how can you stop? I thought UMBC was going to win it after beating Virginia. I mean, yeah, you got to ride this wave and see how far they can go.
Yeah, okay, awesome. So Clemson, Duke, looking at it, Clemson was hot, but I just think Duke's going to be the hotter matchup, just truly showing out their scores. Grayson Allen's going to have a great game. Send him to the Final Four.
One thing I did notice in the Clemson-Auburn game was they didn't have a lot of inside and low post game, and Duke's going to have them beat with Wendell Carter and Marvin Bagley. Now on this side again, Florida State and Michigan. I really got to go with Michigan. Hate to turn on Florida State after beating Xavier, but I just think Michigan's shooting and just their presence on the court is just going to overmatch Florida State.
All right, awesome. So let's go and take a look at the Final Four. We have Loyola Chicago facing Michigan, and then, of course, Villanova facing Duke. What do you think's going to happen?
This is a tough one. I love both these teams so much, and they have so much, especially with the buzzer beater on Michigan's side, Loyola's story. I'm pulling for the underseed. Got to take them all the way. Loyola's got to win this.
11 seed in the national championship game, and of course, I think I'm going to go ahead and have to go with the number 1 seed, Villanova, facing that number 11 seed. Well, if this turns out, this is going to be quite the national championship game.
It's
Who do you think's going to take the cake?
I gotta go with Loyola. I'm riding them the whole way.
Just riding them the whole way.
Yes, they're getting a big W there.
I, for one, oh, go ahead.
It has been the year of upsets. This has been one of the best March Madness I've ever seen, with all these underseeds winning and all the storylines behind it. Loyola is gonna ride this hot streak. They have to.
I am gonna have to disagree with you on that, Jacob. I think Villanova, that number 1 seed, is gonna prevail, and they're gonna get the W. Don't know what the final score is gonna be, but I think it's gonna be a great game if that's what shapes out. I guess we'll see who the winner is coming back. Guys, back to you.
And that's all we have for this week. I'm Jackson Borman.
And I'm Colin Perry. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here next Wednesday.